We are live. Here we are. Yes, attempt number 2. Woo-hoo. And this is the cannabis conversation, so it's appropriate that it's taking a couple times to get going. I am known as OG Mamacita. OG stands for officially geriatric, but there is a nod to the other references. So those of you who get it, and those of you who don't, Google it. So yeah, OG Mamacita and MJ Fisher from All Things Crunchy over there. She is my partner in crime. Hello.
Hello.
And tonight we have with us Canna Mama Jeanna Hoch. Hello. I got the name right, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We had you on our other show, Live with Mama Tribe, and we got to chat with you, and that was really cool, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
And we decided to continue the conversation about cannabis with you tonight. So again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So for those people who stumbled upon this video or were sent it in a link in an email or something like that, can you tell us who you are and why we should know you?
Well, I own Canna Mama Clinic. I wrote an article and was published in Ladybud magazine, and it's called Canna Mamas Need the Freedom to Breastfeed. So a little bit of a taboo subject, but very much necessary to discuss.
Very cool. Well, I'm glad to have you because I like taboo subjects. I think they're one of the only ways that we can make them untaboo is to talk about them. So I was teasing MJ on one of our last shows about how we at Mama Tribe Network can watch how we're doing based on the number of people that we gain and lose after each show. So it's going to be fun to see where our numbers are after this one, because we're going to piss
off too many people, but
I'm sure we will, and that just kind of like goes with the topic. But you know, we're trying to be respectful, we're trying to be non-judgmental, we're just trying to talk about how things are.
Right.
And one of the things that just is right now is the normalization of cannabis.
That's right.
Pot is becoming more mainstream, at least the discussion around it.
Yes.
So I think that's really neat. And part of it has to do with instances like your blog about breastfeeding.
Right.
Because you are, as you're the one who taught me this phrase, by the way, the whole out of the closet thing.
Oh, it's very well-known term in the industry, the canna closet, so yes.
Oh, yeah, very cool. So you were out of the closet.
Right. No need to hide. Get rid of the shame.
MJ, I see. Are you taking notes? Are you?
No, I'm trying to promote your new link right now for you.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry.
There was some Google problems earlier, but we pushed through and we're on.
Yeah.
So
hopefully people can find it, but I want to put it places so that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Hi.
Hi. Oh, yes, the gods.
I know, it seems like it's just going to be like that tonight, right?
Who did we offend?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry.
I'm like,
MJ, you should save yourself.
Can
you light something, maybe clear the air? I don't know, somebody.
Let me get my stage out so I can... Oh my God.
That was
all
good.
Right.
Okay.
I think I'm better.
So, before we get any further in this and further distracted, I wanted to point out to those of you watching us on Google, that if you click on the icon on the left side of your screen that looks like little yellow tickets, those are our showcase, and we are showcasing PoliSciMommy.com, which is Jeanna's site, and it's in transition now, right?
Well, yes, that blog site won't go away. We're actually building a new website, which will be CannamamaClinic.com. So look for that in the next, hopefully, 60 days. I mean, if we can get it sooner, obviously that'll be great, but you know how it is. I'm trying not to
You're on
pressure
Facebook.
What's that? I'm sorry?
You're on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook,
so people can
IG,
find you.
Twitter. Yes, we're on all the social medias, so you will find us. We have plenty of groups. Please join.
And where are you? You're in
Yeah, located. I'm in Arvada, Colorado.
Gotcha.
So I live in Legalization. For people that don't know, we have fully recreationally adult use legalized cannabis in Colorado.
And, you know, that's one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about specifically was how is that normalizing? How is it becoming more normal in the sense that on just an everyday basis, how are people responding to it?
I mean, it's starting. I don't know. I think that, you know, the people that didn't support it before still don't support it. We've turned some people, you know, with the money for the schools and showing that the crime hasn't gone up and things of that nature. I think people are supporting it, that were kind of on the fence. But, you know, there's still a lot of stigma. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. We get it way too much. CPS is still involved in moms' lives, you know, when they're pregnant, breastfeeding, which is basically my big cause. Yeah, so it's still, there's a lot of room to grow as far as acceptance.
So I'm really curious because we don't live in a fully legal state. We live, MJ and I are in San Diego, California, and we live in a medicinal marijuana state. So I'm sure that there's plenty of recreational use with it as well, but
Yes.
that you can't get it for that here.
Right.
So I know that here, I live in downtown, and at any given moment, you can walk in a cloud of it. You can catch a drift of it. You know, my building, you walk into it sometimes, and you're just like, whoa.
Right. That's some of the negative comments made about our state now. People, I don't know if some people really realize what it was going to do to the state, and a lot of complaints, you know, you hear people, everywhere we go, you smell it. I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration, you know, but
yeah.
People
I don't know, pretty much here. There are only a few places that I don't smell it here in San Diego.
Our state has actually done really well in regulation. The dispensaries are under controls of making sure that the smell doesn't leave the building, and you know, they do a lot to abide by other people's sensitivities. You know, we don't want to push our beliefs on others. We just want to be accepted for what we believe in. So it's a fine line. It is a really fine line. You know, you got to give and got to take a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I was going to talk to you. I was going to bring up, and I'm having, you know, Google, I'm telling you today, guys, Google, definitely. What I wanted to specifically talk about was what society has to say. And you're talking about that for just general use in the sense that people generally run into the smell. What, especially after having written your blog and after having come out of the closet, what and how do people react to you as a mother?
I actually have been overwhelmingly positive reception. You know, I haven't met with much negativity yet. However, I haven't gone mainstream either. You know, my company hasn't launched. So we're doing little things, little meetups, you know, Facebook groups, social media. But I'm waiting to see, you know, when mainstream media picks it up, that's when I expect the backlash. I was reading an article in The Economist about women in the media, or excuse me, women in the cannabis industry, and how moms are the next big market to capture, especially in order to push legalization, just that next step. And yeah, the comments weren't so great. There's a lot of people that still have a lot of misconceptions about cannabis use. Reefer madness is still quite rampant in certain geographical locations in the United States, for sure.
Oh, definitely in certain age groups.
Oh, that as well. I mean, and I
Yeah.
really shouldn't just say the United States. Like, there's pockets all over the world that are so completely in the dark about the benefits, whether you call it medicinal or not. I say this often, but cannabis doesn't care whether you call it recreational use or if you believe that it has medicinal value. It's got healing benefits. So.
It does have its benefits, and there are, I also read in, I believe it was in that article they mentioned a great fund or a grant for more money to be spent on the growth of marijuana and cannabis that will be used specifically for studies. So that is a really big deal.
I think that's good. I mean, the money, we always welcome money for studies for cannabis research. It's just the people in the industry laugh a little bit when we talk about the government growing cannabis for research. Dr. Sue Sisley, she's one of the leading researchers out of, I believe it's Arizona State. Oh, I hope I'm saying the right university, but I know it's Arizona. You can find her research widely on the internet, but she has interesting things to note about the government research cannabis.
Gotcha.
Particularly quality, stem, seeds. So, yeah.
Oh, right. That hadn't occurred to me that there might be, I was going conspiracy theories, but you guys are, you guys are actually sticking to the topic. You're sticking to the topic.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's her speeches are fantastic, and I hate even paraphrasing her. She's so brilliant, but Dr. Sisley does have certain concerns over the quality and the purity of the study if we're not actually using the quality of medicine that patients get now in dispensary through their caregivers, then it's not as good of a study. But hey, we'll take anything, right?
Right now we will.
Right.
And, there was I did an episode a while back on this topic as far as use of cannabis during pregnancy and breastfeeding. So there's a lot going on. There are people who are taking the time to figure that out and get that information so that women and families can make a educated decision and not be, like you were talking about earlier, reefer madness, not be swept away by these unknowns.
Oh, gee, in that episode, didn't they, all of their testing wasn't done on moms and babies, it was done on, like, animals, right?
Rats, yeah.
Okay. So, and that's the thing, too, is that, it's, do your education, like every freaking parenting, decision you have to make, get your education, educate yourself,
It's just hard.
This stuff.
Yeah, right now it's hard to do so because we don't have the studies. I mean, there's a little here, a little there. Israel's doing some really interesting stuff right now, but our government's not letting us. There's ethical issues. How do we test women that are pregnant?
I think that would change if the classification of marijuana changed.
We'll see.
Because
Bernie is kind of doing some interesting things and talking some interesting talk. I mean, even if it's just talk, at least we're talking, right? So
exactly. Get it out of the closet and onto the dinner table.
Yes.
Which brings me to another point that I was wondering about, and that is the cannabis conversation that you, as a mom, will have or have had with your older child.
Yes.
What do moms tell their teenagers?
So, my son has grown up around it, and it's completely normalized with him. I believe personally that normalization around children is the best way to pretty much handle anything. You give them what they can handle. Your kid best, right? You know what your kid can handle and what their the appropriate information for age group is, and you just feed them a little bit more as necessary. I mean, my daughter's 21 months old, and she knows it's flowers and it's for mommy, and daddy. Like, she's seen actual cannabis flowers, buds, whatever you want to call it. We often call it flowers. So that's how I feel it. Little by little, they learn, and my son really has no interest as far as that's what mom and dad do.
And how old is your son?
He's 10 and a half. He understands the medicinal value. We've talked about, any question he asks me, I'm going to answer honestly. He knows what I do for a living. He knows how involved we've been for quite a long time. So, it's not taboo with him.
So then, just out of curiosity, let me ask you, have you had the alcohol conversation with him, or the heroin conversation?
Unfortunately, my son's father is a heroin addict, recovering, whatever you want to call it, and we're not involved in his life, so I really have no idea what level of recovery he's in right now. But my son's been, unfortunately, subjected to ugly things in his life. So, like I said, we really just don't hide much. Even the sex talk, he knows where babies come from, and he understands that women have periods, so... that's how I raise my kid.
I'm just wondering because, so many moms, and I'm looking out for someone who can talk on this topic. So if anybody knows of an expert, I don't know if it's like child psychology or something like that, but I'm really curious as to how people are going to broach that with their teenage kids.
It's a really great question. Actually, since we're talking about it...
If you make me write something down, I can't find a freaking pen.
I'm sorry, what I'm looking at is there are some really good organizations already that talk about how to talk to your kids. Students Sensible Drug Policy. Have you heard of them?
I remember that I did get this list. I remember that I did do some looking into this. I would just really like a personal reference.
Yeah,
fall into my lap.
There is an entire list of people that were on a panel that I actually recently watched. I don't have that information here. I didn't really think to write it down. I'm really sorry about that. But if you go to their website, Students for Sensible Drug Policy, and look who they. I'm sure they have resources, but they're one of the leading organizations right now talking about what do we tell our kids in schools. How do we explain cannabis use and even other drugs? But that was the real focus. With legalization, it is so important that we make sure, that drugs aren't getting in the hands of our children. We don't want to see cannabis use on the playground. That's absolutely unacceptable.
Right. And that's one of the things here in San Diego and California is that you can use marijuana medicinally out in the streets, but you can't do it within a certain proximity to schools or other things like that. So that is regulated.
Right. It's regulated here too, as far as how far a dispensary can be built within one, etc.
Yeah. But I went to high school. You went to high school. We know that you don't have to go far to get something that your parents are going to totally believe you would turn down.
Okay, let me just say 1 second here. Let me just say, I was a goody two-shoes. I had no idea what marijuana was until somebody in college said, "Your name's Mary Jane, and you've never smoked."
I was just going to say
that. Yeah, I was drama. I was in drama, and I was in music, and I was just oblivious, totally oblivious. So.
But if it had occurred to you in high school to look for it or ask about it, it wouldn't have been a problem, as far as I think. If I'm wrong,
probably not. Yeah, I'm sure it was around me, but I was just so oblivious. Seriously,
that's really cute, though. I'm like, oh, you're adorable.
Somebody kick her.
I'm not saying I went to college. Come on now, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. After that night. No, okay. That's enough about that.
Okay, that's enough. Gotcha. So, another really interesting thing about you and your own experience that I want to talk about is the issue with CPS. And because of the classification of cannabis, of marijuana, that CPS, cannabis consumption, and parenthood, those are going to be linked together. Those words, you cannot get one without the other, or at least a consideration of the other.
Correct. I'm sorry, my voice is like going crazy.
Have a drink. Have a drink.
Basically, I think we touched on this last time, but the reason being is the schedule on the federal level. I mean, we can't get away from the fact that it's still scheduled with heroin. So, you know.
So how can we as just moms or just as people out there, how can people change that? Is there anything we can do to help with the normalization, with changing what the law says?
I'm a big fan of civil disobedience. I'm also a big fan of voting, writing your congressman, doing Congress people, doing all of those things, you know, to be civilly active.
Yeah, that's really the only way.
It really is. I mean, it's illegal right now. There's you either break the law or you do something to change the law. Like, that's what we've got, those two options. But, you know, get involved. There's so many different organizations that are doing amazing things, whether you're a parent or you're a man or a woman or a person of color. I mean, there's Charlotte Green has just opened her organization right now, is doing an amazing thing, trying to bring diversity into the cannabis industry. I mean, not trying, she is doing it. So kudos to her. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, there is a place in the cannabis movement for anybody that wants to get involved.
And according to statistics, right now, it happens to be a almost female-dominant industry. Women are really picking up the reins, from what I understand. How does it feel to kind of like be in that mix, in that forefront?
Oh, I'm honored. Like, it feels amazing. We are one of the industries that shows that we might be paid more or at least the same as men. So, like, yeah, that's great.
What? That's impossible.
We can do this? Yes.
What world?
Yeah, women are capable. Women are amazing growers and cultivators and businesswomen, and we can show that in the cannabis industry. So.
Well, I'm very excited for women in general, for the businesswoman, because it's exciting to be able to actually, as a gender, dominate in something. So
yeah, I love it.
Hell yeah, sisters.
I'm a big fan of women empowerment, so take it wherever we can get it.
Awesome. Fight the power, sister. What was it, MJ? Whip them out and feed them, and what? How did that thing go? Never mind.
Whip it out and feed them? Sounds like my life for the last 3 or 4 years, but...
So was there anything you wanted to add? I know you're there frantically over on social media right now, and I appreciate that for you.
I'm just trying to put your link out because you know what? Your 1 minute and 11-second show had 24 views already, so I know that people would want to be watching this live. And freaking Google just decided to mess with us. So I don't know. Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said a second ago, honestly, it's just yet another parenting decision that needs support. I mean, anything that we do, I know a lot of people who drink really, really heavily, and I honestly feel like you should really maybe take into consideration like what could happen if you were so wasted. I mean, I think that there's more bad that can come from drinking so much and having kids around and stuff. Like I just, that's the way that I feel, and I think that. Yeah.
I think that goes right with, thank you, I think that goes right back what we were saying earlier, what society says, because that talk, differentiating alcohol with cannabis, and, alcohol, like you said, people get shit-faced. Right. They get completely wasted in everyday situations, and kids see that. But it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, there's ways of consuming cannabis that doesn't give you the high. A lot of people don't realize that you can use it in a way that doesn't leave you impaired at all. And then there's of course the tolerance thing, that people that use it all the time, you can't tell regardless. So.
Yeah.
It's all part of that process, the normalization of making people understand that, like alcohol, people have different tolerance levels, different quantities can mess you up, you know, different organisms, we're all different.
Well, right, and that's the thing is, I'm never going to sit here and say cannabis is 100% safe for every human on this planet. Like, that's just a lie. You know, some people, they might be, I've met people that say they're allergic to it, right? I don't know. You say you're allergic to it, who am I to tell you you're not allergic to it, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's
people
different.
Get like super paranoid, you know. It's like, yeah, then you shouldn't do it, you know. Like if you get paranoid, then I'm glad that you have alcohol because we all need something, right?
Who wants to be paranoid? Who wants to be paranoid?
Oh, totally.
That's one of the things they say about edibles here in Colorado. Like I forget the little tagline, but it's like, go start low, go slow, something like that.
Gotcha.
Good advice. It's really good advice. If you don't want to wig out on edibles, like start with 5, 10 milligrams.
Right?
Oh, see, now we're bringing math in here. I just don't.
It's kind of important when you're talking about dosing. So.
Right. Absolutely. And then
what do I have here? I'm like, I brought some little goodies to show. I'm like,
oh, let's see.
Some gum, right?
Oh, wow. Can you blow bubbles with them?
100 milligrams. So you don't want to eat all of this at once.
Okay.
But now, of course, here's the candy. This one is 35 milligrams.
So what, you would eat like half of it, the whole one?
Well, I can eat about half at a time and then
drive.
Okay, but yeah, I can drive on these.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get sleepy. If I start getting sleepy, then I know
it's time to.
Yeah, I'm chill. I need to do myself a little bit, but yeah, I've been using cannabis long enough that I know my own tolerance and how to dose myself well. But like, you know, for the tourists that are coming to the state and everything, we definitely recommend go very slow.
Yes, because there was a journalist who ate a whole chocolate bar, I guess. All I remember was her talking about her corduroy pants.
I didn't hear about it, but we've heard various stories, like people falling asleep at lights and just
crazy stuff.
Ate a whole chocolate bar with cannabis in it, you'd probably feel like you're gonna die.
Yeah, like, she apparently crawled into a ball and stayed in the fetal position in her hotel room for like 12 hours straight or something.
Yeah, you know, you gotta really kind of like talk to people if you don't do that stuff and make sure you're getting it from a creditable place.
Agreed. I mean, actually, that's part of what Cannamama Clinic aims to do. Like, we really try to help women when they what's a dab, right? They don't even know what a dab is. It's probably
what is a dab?
What is a dab?
With the hair, with old ads, a little dab will do ya.
A dab is a method of consuming cannabis concentrate. So a cannabis concentrate is something like this, which is right here I've got Harlequin high CBD. This is actually shatter. So it looks like, I don't know if you can see.
Okay, so it looks like toffee.
Kind of, yeah, and it kind of breaks off. And a lot of people do those in what you call a rig. So it's kind of like a water bong, but it has a special top that you pretty much, it's like vaping, I guess. You know, so it doesn't heat up the cannabis with fire. It just, you use a torch. So check out dabbing videos.
Yeah.
well, Cannamama Clinic is going to be making our own very soon, but until then, I have to send you elsewhere. But.
Very cool. Very cool. And you brought other stuff, right?
I did. I was going to help normalize by actually smoking on camera. So I just re-upped today, and I have a little bit of Kim Dog.
Re-upped?
I got more.
Oh, gotcha.
See this lingo? It's all fun. A little shout out to Sweet Leaf today. And then some other stuff. So like this is a lotion. This is made by Dixie Elixir. I love this stuff. I have a sore back or my feet hurt or, you know, hips from pregnancy pains, you know, because they still last 21 months later, I still have hip pains. That stuff works like a charm. So, yeah, I brought some goodies just to show off.
All kinds of stuff. Very cool.
And that's not even like, you know, a tenth of what's available. There's so much fun stuff and different ways to consume, and it's a cool thing to learn.
We saw some cool stuff at the Mamas, Midwives, and More festival, right, MJ? They had like
there was some balm.
Yeah,
they were really good. Just you know, like with essential oils and stuff too, but definitely had some cannabinoids. Is that what it is?
Cannabinoids.
Cannabinoids.
Yes. It took me a while to say that word correctly, but thank you, Dr. Michelle Ross. Little shout out there. She taught me how to say it properly.
So is one of the things that your clinic will do, Jeanna, like I think when we had you on live, I was going through your website, and so I think I remember that you would like consult with mamas and basically, like they would kind of tell you, you know, what their situation is, whether they're, you know, not pregnant, breastfeeding, or pregnant, and then we'd kind of figure out like what they should do as far as smoking or how much.
Yeah, I can't give medical advice. I mean, clearly I'm not a doctor. I can tell you what I've done, what worked for me, what we know as far as our group of women, anecdotal evidence. I mean, we, you know, in one of my groups, we have over 1,000 women that have very, very, very similar stories about the benefits of using cannabis during pregnancy and breastfeeding. I'm actually in the process of getting some of this data quantified, which is really exciting. Yeah, look forward to that, because you know, we can't do studies, but we can talk to people. We can talk to people all day long.
Right.
And we hear the same things over and over, and we have a lot of beautiful, healthy, amazing, smart, wonderful children to show that cannabis didn't hurt them.
So are you doing like surveys, or how are you?
Yes, we're going to be doing surveys. We're actually creating the questions right now, and then we have another company that's helping us out. I don't want to mention yet because contracts aren't signed and things of that nature, but they're going to be quantifying some data for us, so it's really
very cool. Yeah. Very cool, because once you have data, once you have numbers, people pay attention to numbers, and it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited about that. I'm a political scientist, so I'm a big geek whenever we can know some demographic type stuff.
Totally. Analytics all the way.
Yes, analytics
all the way. Yeah. So before we wrap up, because we could just talk forever about this, and is there anything in particular that you would like to get out there and pitch and promote?
Gosh, I didn't even think of promoting something right now. I will be on Cannabis Network Radio soon.
Very cool.
I got offered my own show, so I will let you guys know when I will be on. And yeah,
congratulations.
It's cool. I'm excited. I like to talk about cannabis, and I love to talk about motherhood and issues related to both. So I think it'll be a fun show.
Good for you. Rock on. Yeah. Awesome. How about you, MJ? Was there anything you wanted to pitch and promote?
Well, I have my show coming up next Friday.
Oh, yeah.
With Nancy Tenley. She's a nutritional therapist, and I think we're going to continue the Mama Fatigue talk. Yeah, we hit a good amount of points in our first show, but we're going to hit the rest in another show.
You know, I did follow one of her tips from your last show, and I kept meaning to mention it to her, to post it, something, and I never got around to it.
What was it?
I can't remember right now.
No.
It was something like all you. Oh, I know what it was. I remember exactly what it was. Where she said, just think about where will the food come that I need to eat. What am I going to eat today? That's it. I just have to worry about that today. What am I going to eat today? And plan it ahead. And it made such a difference.
Yay! Yay!
Yay! Yay! Wow. Well, ladies, thank you for sticking it out through the Google gods. The fuck?
Seriously. We could actually put both videos together if you wanted to.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, let's do that.
That would make a new link.
Damn it. Okay, well, thank you, mamas. And if you guys have questions or comments, please go ahead and get them to us. You can always contact us at mamatribenetwork@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook and Google+, obviously. We do these shows a lot. MJ has her All Things Crunchy because she's the hippie.
I know. So, you know what? Somebody told me today, you stink. And I'm like, I know. I don't want deodorant. I'm like, sorry. I guess I need to start wearing deodorant.
No. It makes it easier to keep, what is it, your friends closer and your enemies different.
It was a very close friend, and we were joking about it, but I was like appreciative because I actually say it all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I stink. Like, so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'd rather not put deodorant on, honestly. I don't want that crap on me.
I'm gonna die.
My health is your nose.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't handle my funk, just go. Just go. So with that, everyone, thanks for joining us. I hope you found us after all of our problems, and that smell-o-vision has yet to be invented. So
we're good.
We're good. Thanks, everybody. Peace out.